Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. The other day I asked you for ideas on video topics and many of you said that you would love to hear me talk about how to balance spiritual life with material life, with everything in this worldly, physical realm, which is very relevant because in Tantra, and really the basis of what I teach, is releasing a lot of shame that even the spiritual community especially has put around opening up to abundance on all levels, financially, and living in this worldly life that the majority of us do, especially if you're sitting here on YouTube, and not having shame with being spiritual and having a decent home, having a nice car, having things that you really work to earn and not feeling bad about it. Of course, there are limits to how much you should indulge, but Tantra is the one path that teaches us we don't have to have shame. Nothing is good or bad in Tantra. Nothing is rejected. And it is possible to live in abundance and success and happiness without renouncing anything, but by fully opening to our highest potential as humans. Because even though we are divine beings and we are eternal, our souls are eternal, our divine essence is eternal, we are still humans and we still want to experience all the joys and the pleasures of being human, what that entails. So I will first share my story because actually I'm finishing the book of my life up to this point that I've been working on for a few years. And the main theme of my book is learning how to not be in this constant tug of war or leaning to one side too much. I think this is where my Libra comes in because I'm an extremist. I need to have the balance. Otherwise, I really go in one direction. So when I was younger, growing up in Canada with, you can say, hippie parents, they are very, very simple people. They do not care about money or materials or anything like that whatsoever. As you can imagine, growing up like this, I resented them for it. Later on, I deeply appreciate my upbringing, but as a teenager, I didn't really see it that way. And when we see other people, especially when we're young, having the things that we want, like a nice car or money for whatever they want, or playing sports and things like that, you feel like you're really missing out. So I became obsessed with having as much money as I possibly could and being as successful in the material world as I could. And at a very young age, actually at 17, I came into the money that I thought I wanted, and then I quickly realized that I was actually suicidal. I was the most unhappy I'd ever been in my life. And I was also modeling at the time, which was, of course, based around beauty, which is the physical world. So I was very much in this material realm and completely detached from my center. And then eventually, after a few years of trying to find happiness in materials and finally coming to the realization that that is not where I'm going to find it, I went totally onto the other side. So I moved over to Asia and I stopped wearing makeup. I renounced everything. I didn't care about money. I had like the lowest amount in my bank account as possible, and I was trying to live off and survive off the smallest amount possible because I thought that's what it meant to be spiritual. But then I would still feel this pull to, I want success and I like working for things. I like having things to show for the hard work that I've put into the things that I'm passionate about. I want to live abundantly on all levels, and I want to wear makeup sometimes, and I want to feel like a goddess. And so I wasn't feeling like myself very much during that time, but the spiritual community really judged me for whenever I wore makeup or I wanted these things. And then when I was in this material world with my friends from, the modeling industry, say, they would judge me for my dreadlocks or for, whatever I was doing in my life at the time, living at an ashram, etc. So it was like this shame in both worlds. And I was hiding things from both of them because I couldn't find my own identity within the two. So long story short, I finally found my balance once I discovered Tantra, which just really, to me, made sense right away. Because why should we have to push away all of the things that make being human beautiful? And why shouldn't we're sensual creatures. Why should we push away our senses like there's something bad? If they were bad, why were we born with them? If these bodies were bad, why were we born naked and free and running around? You know, all these things, like, if you think about, are quite silly. So if you want to buy a nice vehicle, if you want a nice home, if you want an expensive dress, still reasonable. I don't really agree with like $6,000 purses. But if you want these things, be honest with yourself. What is your intention behind them? So if it's to appear a certain way to other people, that's probably not a healthy intention. If it's like me, you grew up with very little and you want to get a gift for someone, or, you know, it means a lot to you because that was something that you wanted as a child and you could never have. So when I bought myself a car last year, it's not a super beautiful car. Maybe I'll upgrade in a couple of years, but to me, because I didn't think I could have this when I was younger, it means the world to me. Here I am living in Laguna Beach where people are driving Lamborghinis around and Ferraris. They don't think my vehicle's that nice. So it's all perspective. And I'm trying to aim for opening to abundance, to more abundance, staying on a reasonable level, and also living in gratitude for what I have. So knowing your intention behind why you want something is important, and it should be for yourself. The next important thing is to not over-identify with what it is that you want in the material world and with the number in your bank account. So if you have $1 million, if that's your goal, to have $1 million in your bank account by the time you're 30, if I have that $1 million and I see it go down to $20 the next day, is that going to affect my happiness? Because there are people who actually take their own lives when something like this happens. So it's okay to want to bring in that abundance. Definitely, you should. We are meant to be abundant. It's our birthright, especially, you know, if you're here, if you're watching YouTube, it means that you were one of the blessed ones to be living in an environment where you can be abundant. So yes, take full advantage of that, and then also give back once you do. And don't over-identify with the number in your bank account, with your car. It's not who you are. I can always keep repeating this, but the best thing to do is just to spend minimum 10 minutes a day with yourself. When you spend even just 10 minutes meditating or just sitting with the self, in non-judgmental awareness, then you remember your truth, then you remember your center. And when you are approaching life from that center, then you aren't identifying with everything in the physical. So buy that car if you want, but know that if it's taken away, it's not going to change who you are as a person. The pull outside is always going to be stronger. If you see a shiny new vehicle or a beautiful diamond necklace, the pull towards that beauty, and there's nothing wrong with that beauty. Lakshmi is beauty. Lakshmi is everything that's attractive physically in this world as well as eternally. So, you know, it's not a bad thing as long as you're still balancing it with coming inside. So everything outside is always going to be a stronger pull because it's right in front of your eyes. It's so easy for us to identify and be attracted to the things outside of ourselves because we often mix this up for reality. So really, every day, even a 10-minute practice, just remembering that this is just the show around you. You're watching it like a viewer, like you do at the movies, and balance it out with your daily practice. Everything in this physical world is temporary. sit with that realization until you truly feel it within your being. And once you know everything is temporary, then you don't take it so seriously. And this is an ongoing journey. You can't just come to the realization once and then stop your practice. It needs to be ongoing to keep that balance. And it has been said that the pull, like I have a very strong pull towards beautiful things, to attractive things, to materials. I have always had that. And it has been said that the pull towards that is the pull towards Lakshmi. So maybe the pull towards a beautiful dress is actually the pull towards the divine, to the eternal beauty that is Lakshmi, that is source, that is our home. So I'm trying to find that outside, because sometimes I forget that this is what is real, what is inside of me. So then I'm looking for the divine through pretty things because they look divine. So if you feel that pull, like it's happening a lot and you're really like, I need to have this, I need to have this, it just means that you have to come back to your own divine essence because it's lacking. So I hope this video has helped on this topic. If you have any questions for me, just comment below. And for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And again, if you have any video topics you are interested in watching from me, just comment below as well and let me know. I try to read all of the comments. I love connecting with all of you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon.